Right now, you are living through a day you will completely forget. Not because nothing happened. Because your brain already decided it wasn't worth keeping. And the rule it used to decide that is almost embarrassing once you see it. In the early 90s, a psychologist named Daniel Kahneman ran an experiment that had nothing to do with memory at first glance. He asked people to put one hand in painfully cold water for 60 seconds. Then again, same water, same 60 seconds. Except this time, he quietly left the water running 30 seconds longer, still cold, just slightly less so. Which means, by any honest measure, the second trial was objectively worse. More total pain, more total time. Then he asked one simple question: which trial would you repeat? Almost everyone chose the longer one. Not because they liked more suffering. Because of how it ended. Your memory doesn't average an experience. It doesn't even total it up. It grabs 2 moments and throws almost everything else away, the most intense one, and the very last one. Everything in between just doesn't survive. Kahneman called it the peak end rule. And once you know it, you see it everywhere. Take something almost nobody enjoys. A colonoscopy. In a later study, some patients had it end abruptly. Others had it extended slightly, kept at low intensity. More total discomfort, more total minutes. But the patients whose procedure ended gently rated the whole thing as less unpleasant. Some were even more willing to come back for the next one. Nothing about the actual pain got smaller. Only the ending did. So here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Your entire life is being filed away by the exact same broken rule. Not the whole vacation. Just the best afternoon, and the last hour at the airport. Not the whole relationship. Just its highest point, and however it ended. Not the whole year. Just one sharp moment, and whatever happened in December. Which means most of what actually happened to you is already gone. Not lost, never even properly kept. Your brain isn't a camera. It's an editor, a ruthless one, cutting almost everything on the floor. And once you know an editor is running the room, you start noticing who else knows it too. Theme parks stopped trying to make every minute enjoyable decades ago. They started designing for one peak, and one perfect final drop. The long line beforehand? Barely factored in. Streaming services don't optimize every scene. They optimize the finale. Retailers don't just want you to enjoy shopping. They want the checkout moment to feel good. Because they already know what your memory will actually keep. The middle can be mediocre. Nobody remembers the middle. They just need one peak, and a good last impression. Which means you've been grading your own life by the same broken rubric. That relationship you call the worst year of your life. It might have had months of nothing much happening at all. But it ended badly, so the ending swallowed everything else. That job you remember as actually not that bad. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it just had one good week, and a decent last day. Your memory isn't lying about the facts. It's just refusing to average them. Which means the story you tell about your own past might be built from 2 moments out of thousands. Out of years. So here's where it stops being just an interesting fact about memory. Because if the rule is fixed, the ending is not. You cannot control most of any experience while it's happening. But you can almost always control its last few minutes. One study found something almost too simple to believe. Give people a slightly better ending to an otherwise identical experience, and their memory of the whole thing improves. Not because the experience changed. Because the closing note did. Which means the last 5 minutes of your workday might matter more than the other 7 hours combined. The last day of a trip might outweigh the other 13. The last thing you say in an argument might outlast everything said before it. None of this means the middle doesn't matter while you're living it. It means the middle isn't what gets remembered. The edges are. So the day you're living right now, the one you assumed was forgettable? It's not over yet. Which means its ending hasn't been written. You don't need the whole day to be good. You need one sharp, good moment somewhere in it. And a decent way to close it out. That's genuinely all your memory is going to keep anyway. So the version of today that survives into next year is still negotiable. Not because you can rewrite the middle, because you were never going to remember it anyway. You only need to win the parts your memory was always going to keep. So go back to whatever today has actually been so far. It doesn't need saving. It just needs an ending. And you're still standing close enough to write one. Make it a good one.